Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Raghunathanditam tvam sajivam sadvaitam savadutam parijana Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakanditam Scha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kancana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vansakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Dhyayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Sarasatim Vyasam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Tato Jayamudirayet.
Tato Jayamudirayet.
Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, let us first offer respectful obeisances unto Narayana, Supreme Personality of Godhead, unto Narayana Rishi, the supreme human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta Praya Sabhadreshu
Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Bhagavati Tamasloke
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke
Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki.
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki.
By regularly hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam and by rendering service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome within our heart becomes destroyed and practically to nil, and loving devotional service unto the Supreme Lord, whose praise with transcendental songs becomes established as an irrevocable fact. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samhitam Uttama Sloka Charitam Chakara Bhagavan Rishi Nishreyasaya Lokasya Dhanyam Swasyayanam Maha. This Srimad Bhagavatam, known as the Grantaraj, the king of all Vedic literatures, is the literary incarnation of God. It is compiled by the incarnation of God as Srila Vyasadeva. It is meant for the ultimate good of all people. It is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama Hare Rama
Hare Rama,
Rama Rama Hare Hare
Rama, Hare Hare.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya,
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya,
Om Sarabhyaya Namaha
Om Surabhyaya Namaha,
Om Sarabhyaya Namaha
Surabhyaya Namaha,
Om Sarabhyaya Namaha
Om Surabhyaya Namaha.
Mukham karoti vācaram pāgom langayate girim yatkripatamaham bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam yatkripatamaham bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam. Hare Krishna. Welcome to our Bhagavatam class. We are continuing from canto number 1, chapter 3, entitled Krishna is the source of all incarnations. And today, text number 25, I believe. Yes, 25. Athasau Yuga Sadhyayam Sandhyayam Dasyu Vayeshu Rajasu Janita Vishnu Yashaso Namna Kalkir Jagat Patihi Athasau Yuga Sandhyayam Dasyu Prayeshu Rajasu Janita Vishnu Yashaso Namna Kalkir Jagatpatihi
Namna Kalkir Jagatpatihi
Athasau Yuga Sandhyayam
Athasau Yuga Sandhyayam
Dasyu Prayeshu Rajasu
Dasyu Prayeshu Rajasu
Janita Vishnu Yashaso
Janita Vishnu Yashaso
Namna Kalkir Jagatpatihi
Namna Kalkir Jagatpatihi
Atasau Yuga Sandhyayam
Athasau Yuga Sandhyayam
Dasyu Prayeshu Rajasu
Dasyu Prayeshu Rajasu
Janita Vishnu Yashaso
Janita Vishnu Yashaso
Namna Kalki Jagatpatihi
Namna Kalkir Jagatpatihi Athasau Yuga Sandhyayam Dasyu Prayeshu Rajasu Janita Vishnu Yashaso Namna Kalkir Jagatpatihi
Athasau Yuga Sandhyayam
Athasau Yuga Sandhyayam
Dasyu Prayeshu Rajasu
Dasyu Prayeshu Rajasu
Janita Vishnu Yashaso
Janita Vishnu Yashaso
Namna Kalki Jagatpati
Namna Kalkir Jagatpatihi Athasau Yuga Sandhyayam
Athasau Yuga Sandhyayam
Dasyu Prayeshu Rajasu
Dasyu Prayeshu Rajasu
Janita Vishnu Yashaso
Janita Vishnu Yasaso
Namna Kalkir Jagatpatihi
Namna Kalkir Jagatpatihi Atha
Atha
Thereafter
Thereafter
Asau
Asau
the same Lord
Same Lord
Yuga Sandhyayam
Yuga Sandhyayam
at the conjunction of the yugas.
at the conjunction of the yugas
Uh, Dasyu
Dasyu
plunderers Prayeshu
Prayeshu
almost all
almost all
Rajasu
Rajasu
the governing personalities
the governing personality
Janita
Janita
will take his birth
will take his birth
Vishnu
Vishnu
named Vishnu
named Vishnu
Yashasha
Yashasaha
surnamed Yasha
surnamed Yasha
Namna
Namna
in the name of
in the name of
Kalkihi
Kalki
the incarnation of the Lord
the incarnation of the Lord
Jagatpatihi
Jagatpatihi
the Lord of the creation. Thereafter, at the conjunction of the two yugas, the Lord of the creation will take his birth as the Kalki incarnation and become the son of Vishnu Yasha. At this time, the rulers of the earth will have degenerated into plunderers. Kindly repeat after me. Thereafter, at the conjunction of two yugas,
at the conjunction of the two yugas,
the Lord of the creation
the Lord of creation
will take his birth
will take his birth
as the Kalki incarnation
as the Kalki incarnation
and become the son of Vishnu Yasha.
and become the son of Vishnu Yasha.
At this time,
At this time,
the rulers of the earth
the rulers of the earth
will have degenerated
will have generated
into plunderers.
into plunderers.
Purport. Here is another foretelling of the advent of Lord Kalki, the incarnation of Godhead. He is to appear at the conjunction of the two yugas, namely at the end of Kali Yuga and the beginning of Satya Yuga. The cycle of the four yugas, namely Satya, Treta, Dwapara, and Kali, rotates like the calendar months. The present Kali Yuga lasts 432,000 years, out of which we have passed only 5,000 years after the battle of Kurukshetra and the end of the regime of King Parikshit. So there are 427,000 years balance yet to be finished. Therefore, at the end of this period, the incarnation of Kalki will take place, as foretold in the Srimad Bhagavatam. The name of his father, Vishnu Yasha, a learned Brahmana, and the village Shambhala are also mentioned. As above mentioned, all these, Hare Krishna. Jai. Okay. No. As above mentioned, all these foretellings will prove to be factual in chronological order. That is the authority of Srimad Bhagavatam. Reading again the verse. Thereafter, at the conjunction of two yugas, the Lord of the creation will take his birth as the Kalki incarnation and become the son of Vishnu Yasha. At this time, the rulers of the earth will have degenerated into plunderers. So, in the text, this is text number 25, it mentions the name of the father, but in the purport, Prabhupada also mentions the name of the village. So that must be written somewhere. Huh? Yeah. So where is that written? Some other place. It's not in the text, is it? Huh? I don't see it in the text. Yeah. So we are just about to come to the most important text of this chapter, which has a very long purport. Well, that we'll be doing tomorrow or the next day, where it establishes, after giving all of these different incarnations, then the text will, it's actually text number 28, yeah, famous text. It will establish that of all of these different incarnations, the Lord, Lord Krishna is the original and source of all of the incarnations. There are so many places in the Vedic literatures which establishes the unique position of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, the yugas, there's a very interesting phenomena that takes place at the beginning and at the end of every yuga. And it's referred to as Sandhya. Just like every day, there is three Sandhya. Morning, noon, evening. And the Sandhyas, if someone is good in mathematics, one can come out with the percentage. But Sandhya is a duration of about 2 hours. More or less 1 hour before sunrise, before we see the sun, and 1 hour after the sunrise. Uh, and just like we see every day, when the sun is setting, before the sun is setting and after it is setting, it's like a transition that takes place, isn't it? Every day it happens, actually. Every day, every evening. So the similar phenomena takes place at the end and at the beginning of every yuga. So I had calculated that quite some time back, and I forget the exact number or percentage, but it's like um, 2 hours a day, 2 hours in 24. I don't know. 2 hours, 2 times 24 is 48, but 2 hours in 24 is what percentage? Who's good in mathematics? 2 hours in 24, can calculate. We have calculation. Huh? What is percentage of 2 hours in 24? What is 1 hour in 12? It's less than 10%. 1 in 10 is 10%. 1 in 12 is like 8%. Huh?
8.33%.
Ah, 8.33. Is it? Yeah. 8.33% is the period of a sandhya. So we are still in the sandhya of Kali Yuga, because Sandhya Yuga, so that means if a sandhya is 8.33%, keep your calculator open. If a sandhya of a day is 8.3%, so what will be the sandhya duration of Kali Yuga in the beginning? That means 432,000 years, 8.3% of that is a long time, actually. 10% will be 43,000 years. Huh?
36,000 years.
Huh?
36,000 years.
Yes, 36,000 years. So that means that we are now in this sandhya, Kali Yuga sandhya. So that means that for 36,000 years, there will be all kinds of ups and downs. Of course, within this period, there's a term, there's a unit. I think it's every 500 years. I forget exactly now. It's in the Shastra. It mentions that after so many of these units, Lord Chaitanya appears, and that is the beginning of, within Kali Yuga, very unique, very special, only once in the day of Lord Brahma, this 10,000 year period of such a yuga will appear. We are simultaneously in the sandhya of Kali Yuga, and we are also in the that's another, in the sandhya of this Kali Yuga, of this Satya Yuga, which began 500 years ago. We are, in other words, in a very, very historical and rarely, very extremely rarely seen period in the history of mankind, we can say. And most of us don't even know it, don't realize how very uniquely important is this particular period. Here in the verse it mentions that, I mean, we cannot imagine. Here it's mentioned that this Kalki avatar will appear when the rulers of the earth will have degenerated into plunderers. Well, there's a lot of plundering going on now all over the world. And so we can see in the last century, we had World War I, World War II, and now we have ongoing wars as we speak, and we can see all kinds of degradation taking place, not only in the context of wars, but in the context of so many total absence of morality, actually, more and more. Immorality increasing in the world. So if it is like this now, we cannot imagine how it will be by the end of. So that is why Srila Prabhupada mentioned 10,000 years is a very short time. 10,000 years within 432,000 years, which is the period that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement will be present. So therefore, Prabhupada, he was reminding us, finish your business quickly. Get out of this material world within this period, because after that, it's like devotees will have to be in hiding. Devotees will still be there, but they will be very difficult to understand how. So this is the authority of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam, not only here, actually, there's what is it? There's one Purana especially that is giving predictions. What's the name of that Purana? Huh? No. Yeah, Bhavishya. You can. One of the Puranas is giving all kinds of predictions. Bhagavatam also is speaking about different events that will be taking place, that are even taking place now. Yeah, Bhavishya Purana, I think. So therefore, the need and the importance to hear this message of the Bhagavatam, and the need to introduce it so that people can have this knowledge, isn't it? It's the most important knowledge. Most important knowledge in the world is Vedic knowledge. And there's a lot of knowledge within Vedic knowledge, but the essence of all that knowledge, and the most important of that knowledge, is given especially in the Srimad Bhagavatam, as well as Bhagavad Gita. That is why Srila Prabhupada gave us those four. If we study and nicely learn these four, they're books of knowledge actually. Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. The other two? Huh? That's one. Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, and huh? Yes, nectar of devotion. The complete science. The complete science of devotional service, which is the essence of Bhagavad Gita is, is bhakti. The essence of Srimad Bhagavatam is bhakti. The essence of Chaitanya Charitamrita also is bhakti. And as Prabhupada would explain, uh, if someone does not accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he cannot understand bhakti. Why? Because bhakti, what is the essence of bhakti? How do we translate bhakti? Loving devotional service, isn't it? So love means two. They cannot have love alone. Love means exchange of relationship, exchange of feelings, exchange of sentiments. So love means two. So that means that if someone doesn't know about Krishna, does not accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, uh, then one cannot know what is bhakti. One cannot experience what is bhakti. And therefore one will be experiencing what are the three forms of happiness that one can experience. There are three forms of happiness. Many living entities here. Yes, they're all attending Bhagavatam class. Yes. What are the three forms of happiness one can experience? Two of them can be experienced in the material world. Uh, no, actually three of them. So the first happiness, which is the only happiness that most people know, is called material happiness. Material happiness. And we know that material happiness is temporary and not fully satisfying. So higher than material happiness is called spiritual happiness. No? You're from South India. Spiritual happiness. So many brahmanas are searching for spiritual happiness. But there's another kind of happiness which is higher. How can something be higher than spiritual? There is material happiness, which is for the materialistic people who don't know about the soul. Then there's spiritual happiness for those who know that there's something beyond the body, spiritual. But there is third form of happiness which is called devotional happiness, which is exclusively for those who know about devotion. Devotion means devotional service, bhakti. So therefore, the followers of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because Mahaprabhu has especially highlighted this devotional happiness, bhakti. And therefore, Satchit Ananda, so there's two kinds of Ananda. Actually, three kinds. three kinds: material Ananda, then there is Brahma, spiritual life. They are trying to experience or taste Brahmananda, the Ananda of Brahman. But then there is higher than Brahmananda, Premananda. Yes. Only the followers of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu know about or can experience Premananda. So this is, yes. So this is where we are now, at the beginning of Kali Yuga. I see many people. Some people are telling that Kalki Avatar will come very soon. That means they're not reading the Bhagavatam. Is it? Yeah. I mean, there will be, just like we were reading a few days ago, that at the end of every yuga there is devastation. According to Srila Jiva Goswami and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. What is devastation? Pralaya. Yeah. But there, before the end of Kali Yuga, there can be, and there will be, and there has been, smaller pralaya, smaller devastation. Yeah. So therefore, the devotees who regularly read the Srimad Bhagavatam will naturally be eager to make that Bhagavatam known to as many people as possible, and that is actually the statement made by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He was explaining that when these, actually he was talking about Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's writings. When the writings of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur will be known throughout the world, and of course the writings of Bhaktivinoda Thakur that also are expanded in the writings of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and the writings of Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, our founder Acharya. When the point being that when this knowledge will be known, then there will be a complete transformation in the world. So that means that every time we are, just like every day, now we're giving a class here. I don't know how many people are giving class at this time, but there's probably, about Krishna consciousness, maybe hundreds. It's like high competition on the internet. You can access to so many classes, isn't it? So it means that every single day, that's increasing also, not decreasing. Krishna consciousness, people who are becoming Krishna conscious, that is every day more people, because books are being distributed. Whoever becomes a devotee naturally wants other people to also become devotees. So it means that every single day this transcendental sound vibration, more and more people are hearing Bhagavatam. So more and more transcendental sound means the atmosphere becoming more and more purified. I was mentioning the other day something that one of my godbrothers, he heard from Srila Prabhupada. He was sharing that in an interview a few months back. His name is Rupanuga, one of the very early devotees who had direct and personal association with Srila Prabhupada. And he was one of the few, I guess, a little older. He's 83 years old now. You know, there are a few Prabhupada disciples who have already reached 80 and above. So he was telling how Srila Prabhupada was explaining that ordinary sound vibration, this is apparently like established by scientists, ordinary sound goes around the planet very quickly. All sound travels very quickly, like apparently 7 times around the planet within a few seconds. But after some time, this material sound not there. But transcendental sound vibration also goes around the planet very quickly, but never stops because it's eternal. Transcendental sound is eternal. That means that the more we vibrate, either by chanting Hare Krishna, by chanting japa, by doing kirtan, by attending bhagavatam class, by speaking about Krishna, not about nonsense, not about Maya. The more devotees vibrate transcendental sound, that means the whole world is becoming, we are becoming purified. Whoever is speaking is becoming purified. Whoever is hearing is becoming purified. The whole world is becoming purified. So it means it's an ongoing process. And that's why personalities like Srila Prabhupada and all of our acharyas, they're totally convinced that simply by promoting, pushing on Mahaprabhu's preaching mission, especially in the matter of the holy name, that is the Yuga Dharma. Kali Kali Yuga Dharma Harinam na Sankirtan. Krishna Shakti nahi, Krishna Shakti vina nahi tar pravartan. Without being empowered, devotees actually become empowered. When we take shelter of Krishna's Daivi Prakriti, we become empowered. And we become protected from the influence of Maya. Otherwise, we become nonsense. So therefore, the importance of Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, daily, always, constantly, being engaged in these activities, preaching activities, and then more and more the glories of the Bhagavatam, the message that Krishna is, as we will see in a few verses, tomorrow or the next day, because tomorrow is also long purport. So any thoughts, questions? Any questions from South India? South India is a place of brahmanas. Yes.
But within this Sandhya period itself, so much degradation has taken place. So
Yeah.
in future, much more degradation is going to take place.
Yes. It's like every child in the early years of formation will biologically develop very nicely if he's not exposed to bad habits or simple thing. For example, if somebody's poor, not getting proper food, then his body will not develop properly. The same emotionally, the same spiritually. So, um, so in other words, this Sandhya period is, as we are seeing and experiencing every single day, is filled with so many we call anomalies. You know, activities based on adharma. So that means that the, the more this is happening, and it's meant to happen because this is Kali Yuga, so this like becomes built in to what will come out later on. So a child who is not getting sufficient food when he's growing, and this is actually physically happening, we could say globally, not only biologically, but especially emotionally. For example, in America, it's like unbelievable, but it's true. In America, something like 50% of children who are born don't know who their father is. And they will never know who their father is. So many, more and more children are growing up with uh, problems because they don't have a father and a mother, isn't it? Or because they may have a father and mother, but what is the consciousness of that mother and father, isn't it? Yeah. So in other words, we are creating. So the seeds are being sown now, and it will come out as Kali Yuga in a more and more degraded. Just like we see in many older persons in modern day, because in the last century especially, people have become more and more promiscuous, engaged in all kinds of sinful activities. So you get more and more people who are senile. Senile means when they get older, they forget who they are. They, 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 they revert to being again like infant, like a child. You know, consciousness is not developed. Of course, a healthy child will be alert, but so many things he will not know. So, because people in the Western countries, especially, uh, so many people have engaged in sinful activities from a young age. So therefore, by the time they reach the age of even 50, 60, their body, the dwindling stage of life, of course, is there, but even more so for those who have actually led sinful lives. And to become senile is one of the symptoms that you become less alert, you forget, and then you can't even relate to your family members. And we know how in modern day society people are um, putting their parents in old age homes and you know forgetting about them basically, which is because we are Prabhupada explains this in the Bhagavatam also. Modern day, the whole lifestyle, we are losing the finer elements or finer aspects of what it means to be human, of humanity. Humans are meant to be especially sensitive very caring, very loving, more so than, I mean, that is also there in animals to some extent. Mother cat will take care of the kittens nicely, she'll protect them, etc. But in humans, it's much, much more, and goes beyond the bodily level. so, so yes, uh, we cannot we cannot fathom how degraded it will be. I mean, but that period which is predicted, 10,000 year period, is taking place now, and how it will come out is very difficult for any of us to tell. But but definitely we can understand that those who are fortunate to practice Krishna consciousness, it's like the nature of the material world is that calamities will happen. Mrityu loka. Material world is a place of death and place of calamities. But if one's consciousness is developed, one will be able to deal with those calamities much better than someone who's totally on the bodily platform, isn't it? So the world at present is in a very precarious condition, and from all and that is why Srila Prabhupada spoke about and wanted the devotees to um, not only, of course, to develop, our own individual Krishna consciousness, but Prabhupada wanted us to uh, to revive what is the essence and the root and the basis of Vedic culture in terms of communities, people living together in communities, so that they, in times of distress and in times of crisis, they can be helping one another more easily. Anything else? It's time to chant. Yes,
You mentioned that the spiritual sound vibration
sound vibration.
is continuously.
Yes,
So it affects to the beings to
huh?
that sound vibration is affect the living beings to change their consciousness or something, or how it holds.
Yes. Transcendental sound vibration uh, is meant to. Um, that is why we are chanting. That is why we are hearing transcendental sound. Bhagavatam is based on transcendental sound. The effect is that of purification, isn't it? We become purified, and Prabhupada would explain how even if there's nobody in the class, normally classes are given in a room. The Prabhupada was telling his Guru Maharaj, explained that the walls will hear. I mean, there's so many living entities everywhere, right? Your children were seeing some of the living entities. So uh, whatever living entity is close by will benefit from this transcendental sound vibration. That's why when we come to holy dham, it's like concentrated in the form of sound vibration, especially places like Mayapur, Vrindavan. People are constantly vibrating. Of course, there are other sounds also. Certain festivals may not always emit transcendental sound, but in general, holy places. Yeah. So the whole world is being benefited. All living entities close by are being benefited. So Prabhupada would explain that even more powerful than this sound vibration is the Brihat Mridanga. We can hear Mridanga playing within a certain, but when we distribute this knowledge in the form of books to more people further away like that, So the purification takes place because we come in contact with that transcendental sound vibration. So by living with devotees, by exchanging amongst devotees, then the effect is that the level of purification, the level of consciousness increases more and more, and there's no limit. Right. So we will close. Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki, Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki, Gaura Pimanandi.